Facebook people, good afternoon. It is Wednesday, August 2nd. Sitting here in my car on my lunch at my lovely job. I stopped doing videos for a little while. Not really sure about the whole thing. Quite frankly, I'm one of those people who, I'm sure a lot of you will testify to the fact that I don't really give a shit what anybody else has to say. So, I guess the mentality of my own shit is, why would anybody give a shit what I have to say? Well, I got a lot of emails, inbox messages, a whole bunch of everything, wanting to know why I'm not doing them anymore. Apparently, some of you are interested in my opinion for some reason. So, I decided I'm going to try to do a weekly video. I guess is probably the right way to do it. I don't have a whole lot of time. Most of you who know me know that I have my hands in 30 different things with a candle that's burnt at both ends, in the middle, and everything in between. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is ownership. And when I say ownership, I don't mean something that you bought. I don't mean your car. I don't mean your bike. I don't mean, the tacos at LD's on Tuesday that you bought on Tuesday, Regina. I'm talking about ownership of yourself, which seems to be becoming rarer and rarer lately these days. And the ownership that I'm talking about is partially the ownership of yourself, but also not allowing the ownership of yourself to belong to somebody else. We are all human beings. We are all responsible for ourselves. One of the most beautiful things about life is free will. I can berate you all until I'm blue in the face to do what I want you to do, to say what I want you to say, to think what I want you to think. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to, there's nothing I can do to change that. Everybody has to make a choice. Everybody makes a choice, no matter what you do through the course of your day, from the second you wake up until the second you choose to go to sleep. You're making choices. And that's the ownership that I'm talking about, is the ownership of your choices and who you are. I mean, it seems like a pretty simple concept, but in any given day, all I see on Facebook is a ton of finger pointing. This person was mean to me. This person's a bitch. This one's an asshole. This one's this. This one's that. I hate this person. I love this person. Whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Most of the time, most people's drama on Facebook, I do this. Keep it scrolling. Don't give a shit. Because that's exactly what it is. It's drama, and it's nonsense, and it turns into poor me, look at me, feel bad for me, whatever. Don't care. Okay? Most of the things that you see posted on Facebook and on social media and whatever are self-induced, folks. Can we call it for what it is? You did shit to yourself. You made a choice that put you in a shitty situation because you made a shitty choice. It is what it is. I'm guilty of it. I know it. I put up a post yesterday about, the mantra an eye for an eye. I'm guilty all day long. For the majority of my life, I loved an eye for an eye, because if whatever you were going to do to me, I was going to do bigger, better, and badder to you to prove my point. Well, this is where it's gotten me. I learned the hard way. It doesn't necessarily always work that way. And with that ownership, what I'm talking about is you controlling your actions, you controlling who you are. When you let somebody get to you, when you let somebody control your emotions for you, you're handing over that ownership. Just like you handed over your bike or your car to somebody else and said, here. Are you willing? Are you that person that's going to hand your keys to your car to somebody else and say, here, you can have this. Go ahead. Drive it. Do whatever you want to it. It belongs to you now. No, you're not going to do that. So why do we do that with our emotions, with ourselves, with our actions? I remember having a conversation with somebody once, and I was irate. Like, I wanted to go and find this person. I was going to beat the shit out of them, because they had said something. They had said something that was so absolutely ludicrous about me that anyone who would have known me wouldn't even have thought twice about it. But I was so irate that somebody had the balls big enough to come in a dump truck to say that about me, of all people. Like I'm somebody special. So I wanted to beat their ass. And this person literally stood there, looked at me and said, "What do you care?" I said, "Well, that's not true." He said, "Do you know it's true? Do you know it's not true?" I said, "Of course I know it's not true. That's absolute bullshit." So then what do you care? 9 times out of 10, folks, the people that are talking shit about you are talking shit to other people about you. Okay? When people talk shit about me, I could care less. Usually, what happens and what tends to bother me a little bit more are the people that are coming to me telling me, "Oh, so-and-so was talking all this hot shit about you. Did you shut it down? Did you have my 6 the way that I would have yours?" And be like, "Listen, I don't care how you feel about him. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. It doesn't matter. He's my friend. He's my boy. He's my brother. He's my sister. He's whatever. If you didn't shut it down, does that make you just as guilty for playing along? Does that make you just as guilty for letting somebody rant and rave about somebody that you call a friend, but yet you don't defend that friend?" This person told me, if somebody called your mother a whore, would you be mad? At the time in my life, absolutely. I'd be livid. Don't you dare talk about my mother. My mother is, the sun rises and sets to me with my mother. Don't you dare say that. So if somebody called my mother a whore, would I be upset? Sure, absolutely. And they said, "Why?" So what do you mean? It's disrespectful. That's absolutely incorrect information. Like it's beyond rude. They said, "But is she?" I said, "Absolutely not." Then what do you care? Do they know your mother? If they knew your mother, would they have said the same thing? I think all too often we let people's perception alter our thoughts on ourselves. I may be a piece of shit. You might think so. It's cool. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. One of my favorite lines of anything is in the movie Roadhouse. Someone says something to Patrick Swayze and he looks at him and he says, "Opinions vary." It's dead ass the truth. People's opinions on me and of everybody else, they vary. Depends on who you talk to, and it depends on what day and what's going on that day. How somebody might feel about me or feel about you. You can't let it ruin your day, and you can't give people that control. Don't give people that ownership of yourself to control your actions and to control your thoughts. And I see people in my life all the time break down, crying, hysterical, stressed out, anxious, whatever, because of something somebody said or something somebody did or the way somebody made them feel. And we're all guilty of it, and I get it. I'm guilty of it too. What I want everybody to keep in mind is don't let them have that control. Don't hand them the keys to your life. Don't hand them the keys to who you are. Not even for that moment. Don't let them have ownership of it. You know you're not a scumbag. You know you're not a slut. You know you're not a deadbeat. You know you're not whatever people are calling you. If you know in your heart, you know what you do, where you go, who you do it with, why you do it, and how you do it, you have nothing to explain to anybody else. Be unapologetically you. All day long, every day. I take myself with me everywhere I go. I am the same to all of you under any circumstance, no matter what the encounter. I'm going to be the same Eric no matter what. It just is what it is. I refuse to try and let people control who I am and how I do things. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, because I'm not. I got lots of emotions. I got lots of issues. But little by little, I try to chip away at them every day. I try to make myself a better person today than I was yesterday. I think we all should. I think the world would be a better place if we made today a tiny bit better than it was yesterday. It doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to cure cancer today. You don't have to save 43 orphans from a burning orphanage. You can help a lady across the street. You can see somebody drop something in the store, pick it up for them and hand it to them. Don't walk by and assume that they're going to pick it up themselves. Do something tiny. Make it that tiny, that minute amount of effort that it'll take to make today a little bit better than it was yesterday. And if you do that tomorrow, it all compounds. If you save a single penny every day for the rest of your life, eventually you could have millions of dollars. Penny's only worth a penny. It's not worth any more or any less. I got faith in you all. I love you all. You're all here for a reason. Everybody's here for a reason. Sometimes we have a hard time figuring out what that reason is. Some of us more than others. I'm probably the most envious of people who know exactly why they're on this planet. They found their calling. They know what they're meant to do. I don't know what I'm meant to do. Maybe I'm meant to just have an epic beard and be ugly. I was meant to have long eyelashes and a long beard. That was my job on this planet. And I'm excelling at it. I don't know. I don't pretend to know. But I'd like to find out. And I want to be here as long as I can to find out. And I'd like you all to be here too. I don't have all the answers. I don't pretend to have all the answers. And I'm definitely not perfect. A lot of us own all the tools to fix our problems, but sometimes we don't know how to get into the shed to get them. It takes time. think I've rambled on long enough. You guys have listened to me talk about this long enough. My lunch is almost up. Be positive. Take ownership of your life. Take ownership of yourself. Be the best you that you know how to be today. Don't worry about being the best you tomorrow or the best possible whatever. If your job today is to flip french fries out of the fryer and into the thing at McDonald's, flip the fuck out of those french fries. Make them the best goddamn french fries anybody else has had. It might mean something to somebody. You never know. Well, I'm done. You guys have a good day. I'll see you all next week. Some of you before, some of you after, whatever. If you got something you want to hear me ramble on about, hit my inbox. Text me, let me know. I always like to hear what you guys got to say. Like I said, I don't have all the answers, but I got plenty of opinions. I'll talk to you guys later. Love each other, but love yourself first.